Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. This is Martin Wong, your host for today. Trading idea with SMARTRobie. Now we have seen the market continue to go up and go down, really causing a lot of volatility. This is also due to the Evergrande, which is the so-called likelihood of default of the bonds that we've seen in Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Now the government has came in and started to say, look, you better take care of your own mess because the government's not going to bail you out. In that presence, I do think that the governments are, in this case the Chinese government, are doing something about it. But the entire world actually shook on this news of the Grande defaulting alone, and that's why we see a market collapse. But since then, the market has recovered. As I said before in earlier, some of my blog posting and a comment in our Telegram chat room in there to the members, as I said before, what's more important right now in terms of the US market, right, context, is the infrastructure and the likelihood of the shutdown of the governments because of the debt limits they were supposed to raise in the US Congress, which was passed on the House, and that is hinged on likelihood whether this coming 1st of October we will see this government shutdown, which has been many times before during the Obama as well as the Trump era in here. But at the end of the day, it will get sorted out. It is something that they want to raise to the what we call there's no limit to the number of debts, which is something we are facing in the currency market in here. So that's a lot to digest for this morning in here. Let's look at what we have for you in this morning in our breakfast show. Thank you again, and thank you for sharing this video in your timeline. And that's what we have a lot to cover this morning in here. Let's look at the news as we go on this morning. That's right. Now, first thing, it's our news. We are at today is the advanced level, so we assume some of the members in here, our public who are listening, are advanced, and you will be using real-time charts and real-time plugin that we have in our Trade VSA, so you're able to go in a shorter time frame like the hourly charts or so forth. So we assume you have those tools, then you're able to do some of the trade idea and explore this. Definitely what we have seen, the market continue to sell off. As you can see just on top of me here, just switching to a wider chart. On our website, tradevsa.com, you could see the KLCI yesterday was up 10 points. But this morning, if you scroll back as of 10 o'clock, just about 10 minutes ago, you can see everything has turned to pink or red. Now take note, pink represent a negative losses in here. Hatta continue to sell off. We have also top gloves, I think is still hanging on in there. We didn't see it. This morning was up slightly, but the sell-off was an opportunity for smart money to get rid of it. And right now we are down 10 points in here. But let's look at what the headlines we have for you this morning. Switching back to SMARTRobie here. And don't forget, we have a couple of events that I want to cover today also. Definitely one of them is the Master Course Preview, which I will talk about it, and we will showcase you one of the methods that we use for bottom fishing. Now, in our news headline, definitely what's on the topic or the discussion is AirAsia right now, with the so-called travel bubble that they are practicing for the Langkawi, which is started on September 16, which is about last week. So we do see an influx of tourists going into Langkawi, and that's what we saw. Finally, AirAsia breaking up higher. Let's turn on our attention to AirAsia right now. Okay, and you could see from here, switching to a wider chart, right? And very early on, click on AirAsia. Stock chart, stock comment. So very early you could see on the green pentagon in here very well. Let me just bring this down a bit slightly. Not that one. Yep. You could see beginning of in August that market has been going up. So that's why it pays benefit to go in early and ride with the trend of the AirAsia in case. Of course, a little bit of chart reading, understanding the market would definitely help than just simply following the trend, because sometimes we have a lot of this uncertainty in here, understanding price and volume. But you could see at this notion here where we see this volume here, the low volume is always important. We see the breakout, and then finally this breakout to me is it's timely, but it is also a sign of profit taking. So take note, it's not really a time to buy. The time to buy will be somewhere around here. Time and time again, I've been stating this in here. Don't buy just on good news. Don't buy due to your emotion. If you do that and you don't have that in control, especially if you are advanced trader or advanced investor today, I assume today is a time for you to take profit. That's right, it's a time to take profit, not really a time to buy, because all good news does mean you want to be exiting here. All right, let's go on to our next news. And in here, next is on K-Power, and let's take a look at K-Power. Now, K-Power is being tied to, we all know, Server Dynamics, and Server Dynamics has been going through a lot of interesting news and events. Definitely the latest we saw was the founder was forced to sell some of the Server Dynamics, and we did see the share go up. But let's look at K-Power, and this morning here, switching to a wider chart, and you'll notice K-Power. So what has happened in the K-Power chart, there you go, then we can see the continued moving sideways, so this stocks looks pretty much like dead. Those people who had it for a long time, there is a notion whether you want to cut loss or not, or you want to hang on to it. Now, if you have a small base, as I said before, a small base, we're talking something less than 50,000 in here, and you're using as a trading model, you must do something to move your stocks. Else, you just have this so-called 50,000 and you buy one stocks, and K-Power happen to be Server Dynamics, because you want to go all out, and that's what you are stuck with it. You need to move out from these stocks. Definitely, we have seen Red Pentagon, and let's pinch this up a bit here, and you would see we have a couple of CNS in here, and testing the ATR stop loss that we can see in here. Haven't broke through yet. This still looks pretty much on the sideways, but this news is on banking, on the news of renewable energy. We saw the company right in here since the financial year 2021, it is tripling to 37 million, okay, compared to 13 million on FY20, driven by construction project. India revenue surged to 386 million from previously 96. So lots of good news, but the stock is not going up. And any chance, because some people would have bought it around the $2 mark there, and since it has dropped down to what's the last price in here, 73 cents. So a lot of people are taking opportunity to exit in here. A lot not so good news, and a lot of bad stigma has been tied to K-Power in here due to the tied up with Server Dynamics. So for those of you who wanted, of course, if you are advanced trader in here, I don't think this kind of stocks is something that you want to hold on to it. So keep note. Now, next on our news is definitely will be the analysts raising and praising the banking sectors in the KLSE. We can see in a host of them. That's why we saw the banking stock started to move early on. That, remember, the banking stock is also 30% of the KLCI, and that's why we see banking stock move. Our KLCI has moved, but this morning we all know the KLCI has dropped a bit. And one of the ways to know that, you can always go to the Robie chart, switching to a wider chart here, and go to KLCI. We can also look at what is interesting this morning in here. The big gainers are definitely the tech stocks. You can see VIS up 29%, Genintex, and these are a lot touted by a lot of the bloggers out there, saying that how well they are doing, and people are just piling into VIS here. You could see 0120. Let's take a look at 0120 just for curious, and stock chart, stock comment here. And you can see this is where it was previously, right? And it was in a low base, and then just this morning, this stock hammer up. But this is what we call a low volume accumulation. There's no NS, right? But these are usually good chart. So what happened was that a news came out on one of the blogs I was following in here, and smart money just push it up all in here. And guess what? It will be subjected to a lot of distribution. We've seen that a lot. So if you are advanced trader, you want to get in and get out, and you need to be having very real-time charts to play this kind of stocks. But on the flip side of the CIMB in here, we are seeing, let's go over the CIMB. But there's something I want to show you. Here is, you can also check out the FBM30. This is the one here of the live stock prices. You can just click here. It is the same as the website, right? That on the tradebsa.com. So this one just take it out a bit quicker. as now 10:10, which is about 60 minutes ago, a delay chart here, of course. We have Hatta down. Hatta is down 2% to down 13 cents, 557. SIM is down, SIM Plantation, Genting, this is FBM 30. So that pretty much tells you where the KLCI, we are down another 12%. One day up 10%, one day down percent. So you are really, you know, scratching your head what is actually going on in here. It seems to be very volatile. Top Glove is right at the bottom there with a positive 0.38%. Now a lot been said about Top Glove breaking below 3 ringgit in here, and also the likelihood because of the story that I talked about on Wednesday. So make sure you check out the talk that I spoke on Wednesday about the update on the rubber glove. But in short, going forward, there is a possibility that Top Glove and some of the rubber stock will even go lower than the pre-COVID prices in here, which in my opinion, a lot of speculation in here. But the stocks in the longer run does represent a little bit of good value in here. You need to have a longer time to hold it. But again, going back to your diversification of your portfolio, depending how much you have. If you have a big part of the rubber glove, I know it's painful to cut, but you need to cut to move on, else your portfolio won't do so well. And this is the main story I've been telling you, the willingness to take short-term pain for long-term gain. All right, I think that's also important in here. So CIMB on this stocks, let's take a look at CIMB. Hit this chart here, and these are some of those stocks which is, you know, doing well. And you could see CIMB broke through ATRs out, and this is pretty much similar to the KLCI. We have a big drop here, but the banks currently are going to some sort of, I believe it's a re-rating in here. They will hold on, of course. There are other banks which is also as well. Let's look at CIMB this morning for the live stock prices. And you could see it's down 1% in here, pretty much in the same area like what we saw earlier on with the overall market. And you can flip back to this here, you can check out and you can see, and there you go, it's down 12% here, down 2%, everything is down, everything is pink color. So of course you want to see green or light green. Okay, so let's switch back to the SMARTRobie, like what I'm doing here. So we will be looking at some of the other ideas that we have in here. So going next, let's look at also public bank. Okay, public bank C, and let's take a look at the current prices and livestock prices here. So public bank is also down minus 0.3. I think at one point it hit about 420, and then we see a bit of sell-off. Very similar to the what we saw earlier on for Maybank, and right now this is a nice, you know, spot waiting for it to possibly offer a breakout, and if we do break out, then that's something nice to look at. All right, so something to take note. Okay, let's move on to next in our list here is okay, on our news. All right, now the target price from the analysts here are giving it 510 and 580. So take note. If you scroll back to CIMB, right, CIMB is actually 480. So 510, which is almost a 30%. You're talking about 30% less than the 10% upside. And if you look back to the chart, we have CIMB. The old high that we had there was just short of 510, 490, you know, almost there already. So there's not much of an upside from in here, a little bit more. For those of you who are generally a very quick trader, may want to skip this banking stock for change and go for something fast that you are very experienced in. All right, let's also look at the next news that we have is Falco, which is a fundamental stocks, in my opinion, are being re-rated, tied to the natural gas prices being tied into offshore drilling. They supply a lot of the crane in here. So this report lower the target price to $2.70 to $3. This is due to the valuation going forward in 2022. We all know oil and gas currently are undergoing some sort of re-rating again, not presenting a much better upside in here. With a PE of 8 times, let's take a look at Falco. Let's look at the hitting a wider chart here and livestock prices. So you can see livestock prices, it actually turned green Pentagon yesterday because of the news, but this morning I would suppose it will usually fall back, profit taking again after a big hit. Yep, it remains to be unchanged, right? But the fundamentals not too bad. So check out the fundamentals in here, right? With a PE of 8, with a target price right now from MIDF to be 272, right? 220, so not bad. It did hit 230, am I right? Just zoom it up a bit. Yep, 230. So more upside for this, but again, pretty illiquid. You can see this stock, no base, low volume, and then just a big surge because due to the reports of the better earnings in here. And normally when you see this kind of big surge, a lot of smart money will be distributing. Take note of that one. All right, let's go on to the next news, which is the US side. And US last night has a very comfortable pullback. Pullback after a breakout or higher, which is up for this week. So you look at S&P 500 in here. We had a big drop last week, and the market did recover. Switching here, you can see here, pinching the wider. So the market broke through, has a shakeout. This is also due to the earlier what I talked about, the grande, but it was quickly shaken out before. The Dow is rising, Salesforce is jumping, and what else is happening to the stock market in here? But as us know what we have seen before, as I talked about earlier on, this is also due to the infrastructure projects, 3.5 trillion bills that have been passed on Congress, as well as the debt ceiling that they are working on to ensure they have enough payroll of the governments, else they to avoid a government shutdown in here. So you can see we have CNS in here, NS, and I think last night we did see a 500 points. Every time when you see CNS, that's a confirmed no supply. You see this market rebound back. No doubt from the red Pentagon to here, this does represent a good area to buy. As I said before, for the month of September and October, if you've seen from the seasonality chart that in our plug-in package, you will know that September and October are usually the weaker months. And to confirm that, you can check it out by logging into the Trade VSA package, something that is great for investor and trader to know about. But no doubt the US market is holding despite the correction that we see in grande in here. And let's take a look at last night. What was the market? As you can see, last night we have fought up 3.64%, which we did talk about earlier on. I remember on the earlier episodes that we have this week about Ford being another proxy to Tesla. Apple is up 0.67%. Palantir is up 4%. American Airlines, again, just like the airlines that we see in AirAsia, the airlines in Singapore is recovering back. BAC, it's good to also look at it. You can see big gainer is 2,400 US dollar. Booking.com, that's the one I usually book when I go for the holiday, the online. Amazon is up to. Big decliners are the chip makers here. NVR 4,977 US dollar. It's mind-boggling, right? When you see Genentech Malaysia is hitting $50, you're also scratching $1 go to $50, but in US they can go to thousands and thousands of dollars in here. Okay, the American Tower is another property player there. All right, so that's just a very quick snapshot of the US market in here. Now the stock in focus for the US market is by the ARK founder Cathie Wood, which talk about there seems to be a talk in the US market between Tesla lover like Miss Cathie Wood here, and also Tesla hater. There was another analyst saying that Tesla has been overvalued in here, but she said she will only sell it when it goes up to $3. Now don't forget, Cathie Wood with the ARK ETF has a big follower in there, and she said that she will sell at $3,000. But take note, we at Trade VSA in here always talk about smart money in here. Most important is the charts. Let's take a look at Tesla this morning and TSLA. Now some of you did ask me about Tesla, whether it's in there or not. It is in there. You can see Tesla, TSLA, hit that one and you're able to see it. Let's look at the stock chart, stock comment. So you can see Tesla actually is in green Pentagon and blue trend zone in here. So the trend seems to be up. Of course, we have the big sell-off that we have here. This was the grande big fiasco. The market drops, but it hold back to 750 in here. And like it or not, with this positive in here, I do think the trend is still trending up. As I said before, if the market can hold up, and we are seeing rally last night, that didn't profit to our market state. We have profit taking now. Just now we just saw the market down 12 points, which is really, in my opinion, a really disappointment in our local market. Any market that we have, people chapot. So take a US market, we have a better trend, and that's something we talk a lot more, and that's where I want to bring my my team here, the wealth of experience and also a skills and tool set that you need to invest in the US market. Longer run, if you've been watching our SMARTRobie show, the money to be made is actually in foreign markets in here. Malaysia market, you can, don't lose money, you're quite happy, All right, let's move on to next is the SGX side in here. Just a very quick one. S58 is the one, and Singapore is also having its own share of COVID cases being up. And if you look back, switching to SGX here very quickly, and you're looking at Robie chart, SDI market, and you can see from the chart wise, it is still pretty much in a downtrend, very similar to Malaysia in here, but did have the green pentagon last night. Okay, whether this green pentagon will be sustainable, we yet to be seen. First one, okay, let's take note. It will take some time before it moves up, just like any of the past green pentagon that we have in here. It's been down, if you notice the yellow trend zone here, almost about 1 month. The first one that we've seen. Let's take a look at the this morning in here for the STI. Now STI is continued to be up 17 points this morning here, positive 58%. Oh, that's a very nice area, very, very sweet spot. All right, looking to that, you can say that just turned green pentagon in here. We got some of the big volume in here, 28 million. The big gainer, these are heavy in prices, but they are not that liquid. Okay, big decliners, again, those, a lot of ETF in here, something to take note. So in Singapore market, let's take a look at S58. So we type in S58 here, which is again another play on the economic recovery, which is a SAT. That's the one that managed the Changi airport. Okay, I do think that this is still in the continuation of an uptrend. Yep. The market break back down. Oh, follow very, very similar to the STI. You can see the 2-bar up movement in here. So definitely trending up since the green pentagon here. So this morning S58 should be, SAT should be up at least 1%, I think. Oh, it's down 0.5% in here. Okay, maybe this is due to the 3 bars up bar that we have, and then the market is going through some experience, which is represent a very good, nice pullback in here. Watch out, but also at the same time, it hits the old resistance in here. So usually, when it hits old resistance in here, many of you experienced trader would know that is a likelihood of profit taking. Okay. Now let's move on to the past leaderboard for our so-called the past ST2 stage 2 intraday shares. Last round we have some great winners, was about 30th of July, which is many months ago in here. We did had JAX and FPI, which we talk about on 10th of September. Let's take a look at those two shares in here. And because we have the sell-off on the 20th of September, we could see, switching to a wider chart here. Okay, switching to a wider chart here. Okay, just turn this off. All right, let's take a look at JAX. That was on the 10th of September. You could see 10th of September, switching to a daily chart, then we just zoom it in here. Now 10th of September was this 10th of September, we were somewhere around here. Okay, and when we make that call, but on the 20th of September, the market was holding up nicely here. There was no momentum after we talk about this stock in here, right? 10th of September were 20. This is August. Switching to hourly chart here, and let's drill in. Yep, this is where we thought this pullback in here, and the market did hold back up, right? But finally we saw that big drop of JAX. And what do JAX do? All right, you can just go over here and look at the symbol information in here. They are in technology. That's right, JAX is in technology, packaged software here. And we do see this sell-off in here could be temporary, but definitely the momentum is already gone. So it's already gone. You need to cut loss and just move on to another shares in here, right? So definitely not great for the intraday traders, but again, always look back to what is trending right now on the hot sectors is definitely our technology sectors. Check out the technology sectors. That will give you some leeway right now. Now there's another one we talked about was FPI, same time. Formosa on the 10th, you can see that was on the 10th when we took this. So take note, when the market at the highest, you have to be very careful. If there's no continuity of the momentum, we need to be out. Okay, we need to be out definitely for this one here. You can see right now this market where we have switching to an hourly chart, right? This is on the 10th, but the market did surge in the afternoon. Around the morning at this time in here, hit a new high, then the next morning they took that opportunity, a widespread drop, and beginning to sell down. This kind of stocks from 450 selling back to 450, that's a 10% drop and then pull back. Very, very volatile. If you can get a small percentage, especially if you're intraday trader, you don't want to go for too big. Small, take and run. All right, that's kind of things you need to know. Okay, you need to have higher win rates, smaller what we call white gold ball, so definitely not for beginners. Okay, and it takes a bit of skill, and of course switching to hourly chart will definitely help a lot. You need this kind of tools to trade this kind of market in here. All right, lots of fast movement in here, right? Maybe exciting for the more experienced trader here. All right, let's look at what we have for you today for episode 119, which is the 24th of September. So we will do a quick trading plan here. Now this is a FITA. Let me just bring this in here, and you can see this is the chart that we have. So I'm just going to bring also the FITAs. And you could see on the daily chart, this is where the third breakout. Okay, so let's do this. On the hourly chart, looks pretty good. You can see, right? But take note, whenever you have climatic volume here, that's the one that you have to be very careful, right? Profit taking, you will see a bit of pullback here. Just take note, once this thing hit the what we call red pentagon here, it could be a time to exit also too. All right, so just take note of this one. So let's take a look at the FITA, and let's do this. So let's check out the weekly direction. Where's the weekly? Oh, weekly direction is good. All right, you can see the trend has certainly break up. Okay, it's green pentagon. So this is why it's also, when you build this, you can see the entire landscape, wider time frame. In this case, a weekly chart is up. Okay, turn is green, just turn green 2 bars ago. Okay, let's look at the daily bar. Daily bar also just turned, as I said before, early on if we trade on a daily chart, it gives it time frame to hold on, but this is just a break yesterday, which is up about 9% in here. Now market right now is 0.45 here. Okay, and indication, okay, SMARTRobie turned 13th of September. Okay, let's put green pentagon 13th of September. Okay, to check out the trading plan, so let's switch over to the KLCI. FITAs. And switch over to trading plan here. All right, so you can see here, resistance is 48 cents, which is about 48. Okay, so right here 48. Okay, 48 is over here, and you have R2, which is 40 cents. 40 cents is minus the last support. Yeah, it broke through this support here, so that is the R2. Okay, it broke through the R1, 16% here, and R2 is your 2.4%. Okay, that will be good. Okay, so the R2 has been broken through, and the weekly resistance is 4.3. Okay, so 438 here. Yep, 438. That's the one you need to break off. So 438. Once it broke off, then you will see this market will break out. So in terms of resistance, it's pretty good. We have the first resistance broke out. Okay, let's look at important price level here. So we have R1, which is 0.48. Right, we broke through that, and then we have the weekly resistance. It's also 0.43, which is very short. Right now it's about 40.5 cents in here. And switching to hourly chart, yeah, so hourly chart, a good place to actually to buy around 40 cents. Okay, now why is the market moving up? We are seeing climatic volume this morning on yesterday, right, on the 4 o'clock. Okay, 4 p.m. 16th of September, right, we see climatic volume. Okay, now if the market doesn't break down, so if you are what we call experienced trader, you wait for the pullback, you see a little bit of sign of strength, you got to watch it on the hourly chart, and that's where you want to be likely to go in, and that's the thing. Okay, let's look at the low support here. Switching right now to the exit strategy. You can see 31 cents and S2. Now weekly support is at 35 cents, which is 13% away. 35 cents, which is way down here. Yeah, that's a pretty good, decent area. Of course, if you switch to the hourly chart, you want to trade it a bit longer, about 38 cents. Okay, 35 to 38 cents. Okay, last resistance high, just now we already talked about it, which is the 48. Okay, now trending support, if you look back at the daily chart, right, last round that they actually went up, and there is a substantial big move. Let's very quickly just check it out and see how much of the movement that you went. It went up about 36%. So right now we can see if this thing do make a substantial movement, okay, hit this again, and you can pull out. Yeah, it's possible to hit the 48 cents. Okay, 48 cents, which is around here, because we're taking it from the green pentagon. And again, having a plug-in like this, you can able to see it. So 48 cents is achievable if there is another push for fitter diversification. Okay, definitely right now you see one thing is really concerning is the volume. Right now, switching back to a daily chart here, you can see the last round when they push it, those volume right in here was pretty decent, and then the climatic volume, higher volume, then that's where it used to be. Right now we are seeing half of this volume here. We don't want to get too high, this volume here. If you get too high, that's something you want to be concerned. So trending period, let's put in also about let's say about one month, about 1 month or slightly less. Okay, 1 month or slightly less. Okay, that's a very quick roundup of our features. Of course, next week we will come back and see whether this trade was successful or not. And the other trade idea that we have is HSS. Let me just open up. Okay, let me just take this down. HSS EB. Okay, HSS EB. Okay, engineering. Right, it started to break out in here. Okay, and it's also important why I bring this in here. In the SMARTRobie, of course, you can also check out the Pentagon Guider. Right, in the coming we'll bring it some. So let's also look at the latest. Switching to a wider chart here, and you can look at the Pentagon. Some of the big winners that we have so far. You can see for this is just on merely the Pentagon flow, 34%. DNO was the 15% front can, which actually came out on the 26th. D next came out on the 3rd of September in here. So take a look at them too, right? Then you're able to study some of the charts that we have today. In this case, HSSB on the daily chart compared to some of those charts. They have similar patterns. Especially this is a homework for you guys to get more engaged and more involved to understanding the charts. If KGB, which was picked on 24th of August, can give you this kind of trades in here, and that's something you want to do on the shorter term on your side too. So the next one is HHSP. You can see low volume in here. Let's see how much of the pickup that you have in here. Right. And that's the trade idea that we have for today. Now, of course, the continued update, we are still up 8% compared to KLCI, which is down about 6 to 4% in here. Our seasonality chart will definitely tell us more about this. So check out the plugin in the website in here. And something that we were going to be showing you in the coming few public programs that we'll be talking about. Definitely one of them will be this coming Saturday, our masterclass preview in here. There's some of you been asking about what's in the masterclass and how long is the mentorship and what kind of pricing in here. So, but at the same time, I want to share with you one new syllabus, one new topic is how to do bottom fishing by understanding the stock market bottoms and where to detect them using price and volume using the tools that you have. So don't miss it. The registration and QR code is over there. It's also down at the comment in there. I hope to see you tomorrow at 2 to 4 p.m. in here, and I think it's going to be a very great session to show you some of the highlight of the bottom fishing trade for you to learn too. All right, so make sure you check us out there. And also going forward, is going to be showcasing our Trade VSA range of products and services and to showcase to you. Day one, we'll be talking about sectors where we have brought in the KLSE index sector where you can do sector rotation. That will be on 9:30 for this coming 27. And then on day two, identified growth and FA counter using our FA counter screener in here. Day three will be trading the US market. That's right, next Wednesday we'll be trading the US market. So for those of you who are looking at how to play the US market and how to profit from falling market in here, something we're going to be talking about. And then day four, the whole thing that encompass why we are doing this is to bringing a wealth building framework from my experience, something that I want to share with you how I built my $1 million portfolio for yourself or for your clients, or for myself and for my client. And also some of our masterclass members are also building that as their $1 million portfolio in here, because at the end of it, the whole point is to able to do early mini retirement. If you start off at 25, if you start off, then my goal for you is to reach your first 100,000 by 30 years old, right? And then that's what we want to do, is set this kind of targets in here to how to build your wealth. So make sure you catch me on day 4, day 3, day 2, and with all the instruments, all the tools that you need to bring you up. And this is absolutely free. Just we have it over 9:30 every night on our Zoom session in here. All right, and of course, don't forget to join our best Telegram chat room for all stock market information in here. Check it out, and also share that with your friends so they can do that. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Definitely a lot of information in here, even our Wednesday night rubber sector update for you too. All right, and okay, right now we go to our session in here for our stock review from our members, and also from our top sharer, and also to the public. If you are public in here, right, if you are the public, please let me know your profession in here. All right, okay, let's take a look in here. And Fufu is retired. Are you bullish on Malaysian financial stocks? Bullish in a sense, just short term only lah. How do I know that? Is because this is something that we do. You can go to the charts here, right? Or you can go over to our KLC sector, which I'm going to share with you on Saturday in here. So if you look right now, the sector, right at the bottom sector in here, where do you see finance? All right, where do you see finance? Okay, you see finance is just somewhere in the middle. Can you see that? Somewhere in the middle in here. That is how bullish is, right? It's neither here nor there, right? Now, Amir failed to identify, which is good news, to be a push factor and pull factor. Maybe that's something you need to learn a bit more on the start in here. Do join our public talk and maybe upgrade to the masterclass when you are ready. Okay, and okay. So no stocks to look at. That'll be great. So you guys are. Let's take a look at the other channel here. Any stocks that you want me to take a look, just let me know. Okay, we have Frontcan. I think Frontcan was one of the big leads here. Now this is the overall screener that we have that picks up. You can see CNA actually went up quite a fair bit. Let me look at the chart here. You can see CNA went up by 90%. Now remember, the SMARTRobie looks at and filter out some of the best and more liquid stocks. CNS is looking more of the smaller cap stocks in here, and you can see it's a negative 44 PE. All right, so that's another difference to just settle in here. So let's look at Frontcan. Now all the tech stocks are doing pretty well. So Frontcan, let's daily chart. Yep. You will notice on the weekly chart we have a pull, we have a red pentagon, but the market continue to hold up. It's still in a very nice what we call a railway track. Keep running your profits in here for Frontcan. All right, James, our masterclass member. Thank you, James, for your support. All right. And for those of you who has been following me a fair while, do support our Trade VSA. Do share your this video in your timeline, and do share our Telegram chat room among your friends in here. Thank you for your support all this while. All right. Okay, if there is no more stocks that you want me to look at, I thank you for your time and your patience for joining us this morning in here. And definitely tomorrow, do join us for our masterclass preview. Okay, our masterclass preview, which happening tomorrow in here. And let me just bring you the link. Right, this link over here. That's right, our masterclass preview, and we're going to showcase to you some of the techniques that we use for bottom fishing, especially in this coming opportunity. As I said before, September and October tend to be a bit on the weakening side, but November and December. So by the time you learn this technique, the bottom fishing, from our masterclass, you're able to recover back all or maybe some of your losses that you experienced before in here. And don't forget to review us also on our Google Play Store in here. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Of course, for our masterclass members, we have our stock review where I'll talk about some of the fundamental indicators, which I'll talk about. We start at 12 o'clock for our masterclass member, then we move on to the cost preview at 2 p.m. That's what's happening tomorrow in here, and definitely Monday to Thursday, we have another Trade VSA showcase in here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye.